you stop at a red light and let me hit you doing 80? Why did you stop at a red light?
First round of the West Coast. The track, basically the same. Rinse and repeat. Why? They had a whole week, whole freaking week, to do something with the track. They changed a rhythm section and took out a triple, made it a little blah, 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 and changed a little on-off dealio. A whole week. This wasn't a Saturday to Tuesday race. I expected more. J-Mart. Is it a 250 curse? Or is it just a Yamaha curse, for that matter? We see it in the 450s, whether you're Justin Barcia, James Stewart, Dylan Ferrandis. They can't get it together. Malcolm Stewart. Is it going to the 250 class? You can't really say because Cooper won, but it just sucks for J. Martin. The word on the street is he's got a dislocated shoulder and a broken wrist. I don't necessarily like when they come out of the start and then there's like a roller before you start getting into a rhythm. Because what J. Martin did wrong, as we obviously saw, is he rolled and then rolled again, and then Swole jumped on top of him. Could that have been avoided? When you've got that many riders, yeah, you want to say these guys are all pros. It's sort of like cross jumping. You can see what the other guy's doing. If some dude in front of you is not jumping it, well, then you're going to stop, but then the guy behind you might not stop. It's literally kind of like not paying attention while driving. If somebody all of a sudden slams on their brake, boom, you hit them. If for any road cyclists out there, you're like focused 100% on the dude in front of you, that rear wheel. If he does something and if you're looking somewhere else, boom, you start a huge pileup. Could be. It's just a bummer. You know, yes, he's got a week to see maybe could he do something to try to ride. I hope it's not his right wrist, the throttle wrist that's broken. I've ridden a few races with some fractured wrists and it was a waste of time because you ride around going, ow, 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 ow. It's a bummer, complete bummer. And talking about the whoops, massive whoops, cool to see some huge arena cross whoops on the track. What people don't understand is when they think of whoops, they think of just giant speed bumps. And if these were concrete speed bumps, these guys would be blitzing every lap, no problemo. What happens is that rear wheel, the front wheel tries to skip off the top and that rear wheel ends up going like 6 inches below the top and creates this huge cutout. And that huge cutout creates, basically, if you're anybody that rides, you come off of a lip that's kind of cut off, it's gonna kick you all weird. And that's why these guys have to squeeze really hard with their hips and their knees pressed up against those shrouds, maybe a little bit over the shrouds, to hold the bike together. You know, we saw AC kind of wheelie in from the first starter whoop, which that starter whoop was too low to where these guys couldn't really get on top, because the way the real fast guys go through whoops is they kind of jump off the first one. They're kind of wheeling in and they'll hit the third or fourth one with their front wheel. So they just basically go in full on and they just trust the motorcycle that the bike is going to fall in place. That front wheel is going to hit a top of the whoop. And if you're doing it correctly, you're hitting that third or fourth one with your front wheel. And then it just kind of balances straight up and then da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You're good. Marchbanks finishes third on his Club MX deal. That is a second-tier privateer deal. Yes, those bikes, I wish I would probably have one of those bikes, at least when I was racing. Immaculate bike. Their effort is amazing. But the real players, I'd have to say in this order, are going to be Star Racing Yamaha, after I just gave them shit about some Yamaha curse. But they're the main guys in the 250 class. Then it's pretty close between Pro Circuit and HRC Honda. On the East Coast, it seems like HRC Honda. On the West Coast, we've only had one round. We're going with Pro Circuit. But those are the three main deals. Everyone else is just kind of fighting for a top 10 spot. Marchbanks, however, this dude kind of got screwed over by the industry, which happens, let me tell you, more often than not. You're only as good as your last race.
All done. What's wrong, Michael?
like a gum in my hair. And if you don't perform, especially on Mitch Payton's team, he's got a reputation to where this can make your career or break your career. Because if you can't make it in his team, under his tent, well, you probably can't make it anywhere else. So you just end up losing your ride and go down, and then you're out of the scenario. You're making effing YouTube videos. Not that I ever had the opportunity, but this isn't about me. He's kind of riding with a vendetta. It was cool to see him actually take out the dude that took his ride. Taking out the dude that took his ride, Seth Hammaker. I kind of thought it was a big ol' F you to what's going on, and he was able to get on a podium. Dude won Daytona last year. First podium for, I believe, Club MX. Gotta give it up to him. Being a pessimist, moving on to the damn flag scenario. We've got red cross flags, we've got red flags. What in the hell was McAdoo doing, still short of racing, and taking out a medical team member, an asterisk medical crew, taking out somebody that's helping a down rider? That is complete bullshit. I've said this a few times with some other things. Fine them. Why aren't we fining the riders? Oh, right. Because we're not fining the riders because the riders aren't making that much money. Granted, still a fine would do a good thing. Fine the team. Do something. Take points away. Do something. Let it apparent that this is not okay. Whether it's a blue flag, the medical flag, a restart flag, come on. Be consistent. This is one thing where I'm saying the sport is dying because they're not innovating. Yes, let's freaking just give them radios. Give them radios like almost every other motorsport so that it can be like,
you got Red Cross, restarting the race.
I'm at the point where I'm like, why am I even talking about that? I'm gonna talk about the 450s and add in just a little bit about the track some more as well. Why do we have only 4, maybe 5 180-degree corners? That's really where a lot of the passing is made, where these guys can go up on the inside of somebody, push somebody wide. All these 90-degree corners just make for some boring-ass racing. The track might as well have just been take all the jumps out and just throw in straightaways. That might have been more fun to watch these guys kind of who can break the hardest into a corner to cut somebody off. It's... They had a whole week to do something about this track. We just saw the only ways to really pass somebody was to try to take them out. It happened a few times. I mean, Barcia got the whole shot in the main event, and I want to know your guys' comments below. I know Barcia is hard on the rev limiter, but it almost looks like he taps that rear brake a lot in the air, where he jumps in the air, pulls in the clutch, taps that rear brake, front end dives down, and then he like releases it and snaps the gas. So the bike kind of goes rah, da, rah. It looks kind of cool, but I need to slow it down to try to see if that's actually what he's doing. But he's the only rider. I would say Josh Hansen does that too, where he jumps and he's real front end down, but it's a little bit more smooth, where Barcia looks a little rigid. It looks snappy. It looks like he's doing something with the controls where, like I said, pulling the clutch, slam rear brake, give it gas, let go of clutch.
In the air.
It's interesting. Maybe he might be a little bit faster anytime you change the revolutions of that rear wheel. This is just simple math. You're slowing yourself down. Guess when you're jumping that much during the course of a lap, you're looking at milliseconds. It adds up, especially at this level. Tomac. I think Tomac gave up once Kenny was all over his ass and finally passed him. He just looked like he completely threw in the towel. Webb seems like he might be in people's heads. The dude, I would have to say, is probably got the most confidence in his ability than anyone else on the field. Yes, that's kind of a biased statement here because we see what Kenny's doing. Kenny's completely changed his attitude, and it's going to be a good race between those two. I mean, they're only 6 points apart now going into Daytona. Daytona's going to be very exciting. Hopefully it's a little bit different than the track that they made last year, but anyway, short video. I got other shit to do in my day. So this is Johnny Hopper signing off. Whoa. I completely forgot. Hit the like button. We want to smash the YouTube algorithm because the whole moto industry is dying. At least this channel could maybe survive if the moto... Anyway, beside the point, smash the like button as if You were a medical track crew member that was doing your damn job.
Oh no!
It works. It works. Rah, 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 rah.